Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome. I'm Carolyn J. Carpenter with Hollywood Gatekeepers, and we are going to jump in here live like we do every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. That's what we do. So we want to get really consistent with that so that, why does it look like maybe you can't hear me? No, I think we're good. Just checking things. Get your chat going. Okay. Howdy, how are we? What's going on? How are we doing this fine day? Okay, sorry. So we're diving in today, like I said, in the email, and in the email I didn't put the time. Yeah, that was me. Well, hello there, Carolyn. Doug, I think that's Doug as Hollywood Gatekeepers. So, and then I noticed today, as we do trainings, I'm constantly taking trainings. I need to speak to Ms. Breck because I noticed today that she was doing this thing and you could see the comments scrolling. It was really cool. I don't know how she does that. I know she uses this, so I'm going to ask her. That's what I'm going to do. I was going to do it before and then I forgot. Turn off my email. So today we're going to be talking about your hero story. Yep, it's Doug. Hooray for Doug. So, and then, hey there, Facebook user. So there's a little thing that says StreamYard.com. If you click on that, then it'll show you who it is making the comment. So, but she had it, I don't see that anywhere. I don't see a button for that. She had it scrolling. So as people commented, I liked it. Yeah. So today we're talking about the hero's journey. So the hero's journey is something, if you're a writer, I think most people, if you went to high school, I think most people know the hero's journey. Well, that's better. I like you as Hollywood Gatekeepers too. It's fine. Just schizophrenic. And then, hi, it's Andre. Hi, Andre. It's nice to see you. So, and, we have 5 o'clock in Gatekeepers. For those of you that are new to our whole thing, we do 5 o'clock in Hollywood Gatekeepers, a short training, half hour or so, and then 6 o'clock in Screen Readers on Thursday on Zoom, hour, sometimes even hour and a half, depending on what we're chatting about. I have a guest tomorrow. Very exciting. Yeah, those are the two differences for those of you that are new. We have a lot of different ways that we train. We are in here. Hey, Scotland. I know, aren't they cool? I like them too. But I want to know how she got it to scroll. It's bugging me now. Kathy? Oh no, I was going to say, I think she's live right now, but no, she was clicking off. So, and there's Joyce. She is pretty neato. So if you went to so we do all of these trainings. We have a paid course. We have paid coaching where we do coaching every single week. And then we have a lot of free trainings where we do this like right now, because we're so fancy. We are here on Facebook, in the Facebook group and on YouTube. And then we'll hop, and then we do Instagram as well. Did you notice that? And then we'll hop on. I have to talk to you about Instagram. So we will do Instagram today as well. So yeah, so we just do a lot of free trainings. And then we have a podcast that needs an episode. Look she got it figured out. Yay. So today I thought we'd talk about the hero's journey, and it kind of was sparked. We also have our finished program where we're helping people finish screenplays, and we do that screenplays. I heard it, screenplays. And we do that on Tuesday nights. We're just busy. Yay. So, so I don't need to scroll. I'm just going to click on every comment. So I guess I shouldn't do that. So this kind of was sparked by we had 10 people finish their very first screenplay that have never, I think 8 out of the 10, maybe. I don't know for sure the exact number, but we had 10 people that finished a screenplay, boom, and it was awesome. And so now we're giving feedback. We're all reading it and giving feedback, and it's awesome. So this was kind of sparked by that in terms of the hero's journey, because we talk about the reading process quite a bit. We talk about the writing process quite a bit. If you are a reader, I saw someone post, will this help my writing? Absolutely. They're hand in hand, like they go so closely, right? Being able to understand reading and being able to be a good reader will absolutely make you a better writer. Sorry. This is not good because this is a total toy now. Okay, but it absolutely, reading and writing go hand in hand. I mean, it sounds funny when I say that. Someone said, one of my friends said, I watched a little bit of your thing. She said, it's like you're speaking a foreign language. She doesn't know, she doesn't know a thing about this. She has my purple. And she's an entrepreneur, an amazing, amazing entrepreneur. But she was like, she would be like, it's like if I were talking hair and you'd be like, what? But they really do go together. So yes, so I saw your post, Andre. That's why I talked about that. So yeah, there are two different groups, Hollywood Gatekeepers, and typically you only get emails for the group that you're in. And yesterday I thought, everybody should come to this. And then I realized right after I sent it, like, that's going to be really confusing for new people. So that's why I wanted to clarify, is that on Wednesday evenings, we're in the free trainings, 5 o'clock, that are a little bit shorter. And then Thursday evenings is you have the Zoom link in our Screen Readers Facebook group. And we meet on Zoom, and it's live coaching a little bit more in depth. So those are kind of the two platforms and things that we do. And yeah, we used to kind of not talk about it all, but I don't know why. So now I do. So we will, I want to go through the hero's journey, because in our other thing, in our finished course, someone was rewriting their screenplay, and it was like, I wanted to give them a really clear map. And then I started thinking about our lives, as I want to do, constantly do. I'm in a lot of trainings. I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm so excited for a conference with Eben Pagan, who is the person that I learned this whole online world with. And he is now, I will be certified as a virtual coach through his program, which is phenomenal. We had an 8-hour training the other day, all online. He's in Florida, coming out to LA. And so I'm going to go to this conference. I'm so excited. And with another 400 entrepreneurs. And so we will be streaming into Screen Readers live from there tomorrow. So yeah, all of these, we can start scrolling, and we are starting to organize them, even because we're getting super fancy now that we have Joy's help, and starting to put them, and Cherie and Genevieve, we're starting to put them into units. So we're starting to organize this group, because it's so big, so that you guys can get some really good training out of this. We want to be really open with free stuff, but also have a kick butt paid thing too. So you can go the route that you want to go. So in the hero's journey, I wanted to think about you as being your own hero. What kind of hero are you? Has anyone ever said to you, you're my hero? I'm really fortunate that I've had people say that to me. Usually when I'm getting them out of a bind of some sort. I mean, even when I was a kid, like, I would write my brother's stories that they could tell my parents later. Just tell them this. Here. The creative writer. So, I think Eben Pagan, whoa. So, and his wife, Annie Lala. So, and their daughter, Love. They actually named their daughter Love. So I think that it's really important to be each other's heroes. And I see it in our finished group. I see it in Screen Readers. I see it in here a bit. This is such a big group. It's a little bit harder to see. But in Screen Readers, people are just stepping up for each other. And it's important, right? It's important to be a hero for other people. It's important to live with integrity and to step in. But how much are we a hero in our own story? How much are we making our path just like we write a screenplay? So I'm going to walk you through the hero's journey. I have a handout. Ding. I have a handout. And Evan Pagan, woohoo! I have a handout that it's interesting. And here, let me give you the link, and then if someone could copy it into the chat, because I will put it here. I'm starting to learn how to do this, and then I'll show it. There it is. So that is not in the chat in the Facebook group. So one of y'all that's in the Facebook group, if you could put it into the chat. I can't do that from here. Don't know why, but I can't. So I wanted to walk through the hero's journey in sort of a simplistic fashion. And you'll notice when you click on the chat, when you click on the link, it asks for your email. And the only reason we're doing that is so that we can see, it helps us track what people want. And so if you enter your email, we know that you wanted this, and we'll do more things like this. That's how we know. So there's no, it's that simple. So I wanted to create this sort of simplistic, almost childish map. And we get this in the trainings that we're in. We get these really simplistic training tools. And I've been like, wait a minute. And it's because it's so easy to get overwhelmed with information. And for a long time, even just that we do handouts every week, I've had other people in the online space say, it's too much, it's overwhelming. So that's why I wanted to try and to simplify. Oh, I could see you, Lisa. Hi. See, I don't know why you can't see your comments. So I made this simplistic mat, and they kind of go hand in hand. There's two. I printed it out even. Visual aids. There's the first one. There it is. So there's the first one. If I can get it. There it is. So there's the first one, right? So take a look at that. And you can see, so I did like icons. And then the second one, this one, as you can see, I can share my screen, I guess. It's probably an easier way to do it. The second one is identifying the first thing. So let's walk through it. Let's just walk on through it, shall we? And you know what? Maybe I will share my screen. I don't know who that was. Sorry for the accent. Chrome tab. Is that it? No, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, so let's see your comments. Still, hang on. 1 sec. There we go. Okay, so I can see your comments and still scroll on the hero's journey. So the first one, actually, I don't need to see that because I can see it on my own screen. So good. So the first thing is an idea, right? So when you write, so I'm going to walk you through this in terms of a writer and in terms of your story, right? So awesome. Hi, Michelle. So you've got the idea, right? Whatever that idea is for your story. The same holds true in our lives. We get these ideas sometimes. Some of us more than others. Sometimes I have a little bit of a fire hose of ideas, you know, and I think in this, you probably do too. I think that's why we're drawn to each other. In the Hollywood Gatekeepers creative space, we have a ton of ideas. And I think that's one of the things that draws us together. It's like so many ideas that they just can become overwhelming. And so, yay. So good. So you've got the idea for your story. You've got the idea that sparks everything. You've got the idea in your life of, oh, I want to write this screenplay. I want to become a reader. I want to produce a movie. I want to act. I want to paint. I want to rule the world, whatever it might be. You have this idea already of something that you want. We all sort of have ideas. And it's really interesting when you say to someone, what do you want? And we say this a lot in our coaching. And it's so funny how people struggle with that. If I say, what do you don't want? Whoo, people know what they don't want. It's really easy to tap into. I don't want usually this, whatever they're going through. So it's like, but really kind of, I mean, journal this out. So journal these questions out. And this is an easy way, you know, stick this on your bulletin board. It's an easy way for you to visualize. I think, you know, for our visual folks, it's a way to kind of spark what we're talking about. So the two, so one is explaining it and one is just trying to get a quick visual that will help you think of these things. And so you've got the idea in your life of things that you want, you have the idea for a screenplay. And then, so you're kind of working on this, that little is like the inciting incident in a screenplay. That's something that happens. So the idea is setting up whatever that story is, and then boom, something happens to your main protagonist to, you know, we hit the iceberg, whatever it is, like something happens in your story. The same holds true in your life, right? You can have an idea and you can float around with it and you can kind of bump through like a pinball, or you can make an inciting incident. We talked about this in the masterclass, right? You can make an inciting incident where you go, I am going to write that screenplay. I am going to join screen readers. I am going to, whatever it might be, you know, I am going to audition for a play. I am going to audition for, you know, a film. I'm going to make my movie, like whatever it might be. What is that like? Boom. What was what again? The inciting incident. So that's what the big is like your inciting incident, either in your story or in your life, where you're like figuring out what that thing is going to be. So you might know it, you know, you might think, oh, I kind of want this. That's the idea. And then when you make the choice, you go, boom, I'm going to make this choice. I'm going to make this inciting incident happens. Your story begins along that path. So like when Doug and I decided, let's do this. Let's do Hollywood Gatekeepers. Let's put it up there, right? Let's try it out. And we, boom, we put up a masterclass. We just dove in and we tried it. Well, it was very, and we had many, many moments along the way. And someone, one of our screen readers messaged me today and said that he was afraid to post his coverage. And I was like, just do it, man. Just post it. You're fine. And he's like, oh, and I go, look. It's like life is, if you're a little bit afraid or if you're having anxiety about doing the next step, that's awesome, because that means you're expanding into something new. We should all be a little bit afraid every day, because it means that we're doing something out of our comfort zone. And that's where the growth is. That's where the magic happens. That's where people are successful. That's where it all takes place. So being able to push through that sometimes is really hard. I get it. So that's your inciting incident. And then the next step is gathering around all the people, right? All the people that you'll help you. So who do you need to meet? Who do you need to have in your life? What kind of supportive people do you have in your life? Who do you need to get out of your life? Like if you have someone in your life that is really blocking you from, doing the things that you want to do, or being the person that you want to be, if you have anyone who's holding you back or putting you down or not being that supportive person, ixnay on the Urson Bay. Like, do your best to either limit your time with them, and chances are, I'm just throwing this out there, that if that's true for you with them, it's probably true for them with you. Like, you're probably not the best influence on them either. So sometimes the greatest act of love is understanding that this is not working and let's move on. So I don't know if any of you need to hear that today, but being able to surround yourself with people that support you, with people that, and it doesn't necessarily mean they have to agree with everything you're doing. As a matter of fact, sometimes when you have an idea and you're launching, something big like this, like when we were doing this, there were a lot of people that are like, oh, I had actually everyone pretty much in my life was like, oh, that online thing is, I don't know, there was a lot of skepticism. That there's healthy fear, and then there's also people that are just concerned about you. So just make sure you don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. But it is like finding those people that can be that support system, that can be, someone who champions you, which is why it's great that you're here, because we'll be that for you for sure. So we're always going to be like, yeah, because we want to be that voice. We want to be the one that's like, whatever, like, just do it. Let's do it. Right. Bye, Felipe. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Oh, but you guys are so. See you later, Felipe. You're out of here. Oh, it's so awesome. So, and come into here, because we will definitely be that support system for you. We are always going to be like, you can do whatever you want to do. I see the greatness in each and every one of you, in your posts, in your Bye Felipe. And like, there's so much creativity. It's slaying me. It's so much creativity. And there's so much joy, and it's just like so fun. We're having such a good time that it's like, how could it be wrong? So get those people around you. And then the next thing is your commitment, or putting your belief into it. Like, what is the belief you have on this? And this is, now we're starting to work, right? And same thing in the screenplay. Okay, so we set up this idea, boom, something happens, and then it's like, okay, now we're going to introduce all these characters and stuff's going to go on. We're going to introduce the antagonist, all this stuff. And then it's like, okay, we got to get committed. What are our beliefs? And here's the beliefs lead to questioning, right? So you have your belief system. And I'm taking a training right now. And he actually said today, like, what are the beliefs that are holding you back? We all have them. We all have beliefs that make us not do things. So if you have a belief, and we see it in here all the time, like someone just felt the need to email me the other day about how I'm just trying to scam people. And like, obviously I'm going to just keep asking people for money, even if they're in the course, I'm never going to do anything for free. Like, and it's like, okay, come on over on Wednesday. You don't have to take the course. It's totally fine. Come in, we'll train you on Wednesday. But she has a really clear belief that, and I think it even said something like they all are. You're one of them, kind of thing. You're one of them, which is the basis of every horror film. Sorry. Like, I immediately turn it into something creative, right? It is like, that is, it's zombie films. We would much rather, die than be one of them. So it is like, getting pushed into them, we talk about they in the masterclass, right? They are the ones that do this, they, that. And so when people have this they mentality of they are, scamming me, they are evil, or they have readers, only they make movies, it's like, rather than being like, oh, it's all people and we're all doing the best we can and kind of looking at it like that, it's like, it's just, stepping into that. So I'm taking a training today, and I'm writing down these beliefs that I have, and it was a money training, and I'm writing down, he even said, so what's the lie in that belief? Because the word lie is in belief. How did I never see that before? I was like, and I've never even seen like a meme of that, or like I've never seen it. I'm sure people have been saying that for years. But that was like, I just laughed out loud because the word lies and belief. I was like, oh my goodness, it certainly is. So it is that thing of like, what is a belief? So then you start looking in your story, in your thing, once you make that decision to do something, all of the beliefs that you have all the things that are like, nah, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. You're not going to do this because you stink. You're not worthy, which is one of the reasons I love Jojo Rabbit, because he's got Adolf Hitler going, you're ugly and you're stupid. Love that movie. And it's like that. And so if you haven't seen it, you need to see it, because it's so beautiful to have, it's so beautifully portrayed of someone inside your head going like, you're ugly. It's so good, because that's what we do to ourselves. We who do you talk to harder than you talk to yourself? Oh my God, how many times have we coached people? I used to do it myself. Like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get my act together? Why am I just, I'm so stupid. How can you be so stupid? Like those kinds of comments we say to ourselves, at least people that I know, and I hear it all the time, so flippantly, like it's no big deal. Oh yeah. What's wrong with me? So those kind of comments, those are the beliefs. Those are the things when you make that decision, when you make that inciting incident, you go, I'm going to write this screenplay. I'm going to make my movie. I'm going to whatever it is. And then all those things will be like, no, because you're stupid. No, you won't. That's how it sounds, at least in my head. Nuh-uh. So you're going to get all of those beliefs that are going to like come back at you. And they'll also be really, really tricky in that sometimes it will just be, well, not today. You need to rest today. You've earned it. You'll have the little tricky, like supposedly nurturing voice that says, no. Today we're going to sit on the couch and eat ice cream. No, you don't need to do it today. It'll be okay. So your inner voice can be really tricky, and that can trip you up. That can be your obstacles. Same thing with your characters as you're writing your story. They have to start looking at their beliefs. What's keeping them back? What's pushing them forward? What are the beliefs of their antagonists? And even, what are the beliefs? So an antagonist could be not necessarily a villain. An antagonist, the wizard in The Wizard of Oz, is an antagonist. He prevents them from getting where they want to be. He's not a villain. The witch is the villain. But an antagonist is someone that just prevents you from taking to the next step. So as you go forward, then you have to start questioning the beliefs. The characters in your screenplay need to start questioning, why is this happening? And what should we do? And who can I call? We need to start to really, really question ourselves in our lives and in our screenplay. That's what makes screenplays interesting, is when they start figuring things out and people come in and they're providing answers and they're looking for things, right? It all kind of goes together. And then comes the heartbreak, and then, or the struggle, or the, kind of the lie and the belief tripping you up. That's when it becomes hard. And, Doug and I started Hollywood Gatekeepers. We dove on in. We have had so many challenges along the way. And there's been times when it's just been like, oh my God, like literally just put your head between your knees and breathe for a while, because there's technology, and there's so many things that we've had to learn. And luckily we've had each other to help, but it's been, and there's been things like we've been having to deal with, some things dealing with people, some things dealing with technology, some things dealing with Mercury retrograde, whatever it might be. But it is like, can you use more than one antagonist on a story, or is there a limit? There's no limit. It's your story. As long as it's not too confusing. I think there's multiple antagonists. When you think of stories that have, even silly stories sometimes, where you have someone who's battling something, but their best friend's going like, well, you're never going to do this. Sometimes that best friend, or especially like in a romantic comedy, they are in place of the voice, your voice that we talked about in your head. The nah voice is sometimes the role of the best friend. We're there. And sometimes there's nurturing too. Sometimes even romantic comedies do this well, where you have the best friend and then you have the best friend who also believes in you. Can go both ways. So no, I think as long as it's not confusing, it's, look at Marvel stories now. They had, the ensemble pieces definitely have more than one antagonist and more than one protagonist. As long as the story, as long as you're following these steps of, what is the belief? What is the question? What is the people coming together? What are we figuring out? As long as we're following that. So then when you get to the struggle, then it becomes, now we're into like, this is where, you pull up your bootstraps and you figure things out in your life, I'm talking about, or in your screenplay too. It's when your hero goes, oh, okay, I'm getting this. Okay, I can do this. And it's also when romantic comedy, they break up and it's all chaotic or whatever. There's like, it's that moment of like, oh, things are not going to turn out well. And we see that, in basically every story. It's like that dip kind of towards the second half of the screenplay. It's not right in the middle. It's not the middle, it's past the middle, but it's that area where kind of the lull, the action lulls a little bit and the characters are beat up and they're like, I don't know what we're going to do. Like, and the same thing can happen. It's why most businesses don't make it past 3 years, because that second year, that second and third year, it's like, okay, the first year you're all excited, right? And you're getting things together and, ooh, this is super cool. And, oh man, we had a little bit of success. We're awesome. And then that second year, you can still kind of go, yeah, this is good. This is good. It's getting harder. And then the third year is like, oh my gosh, this is getting really hard. And I really feel, and I'm, trusting that then you kind of get over that hump of, okay, what got me here won't get me there. So now we need to like get some systems. My word for the year is systems. We need to get some things in place so that we can have this foundation. And so the same holds true as when in your life and you're, trying to do something. That's the time when things get hard. That's the crucial time that you have to push forward. At a time when you really want to quit, that's the more importantly, the time you need to push forward. Just like your hero, right? Just like your story. And then you get into like point of no return. And that's what the cartoon of the battle is, right? The point of no return is when that hero goes, they just went through the struggle and the heartbreak, and now they're like, I'm going to do this, let's go. And they, Braveheart, rah, and they'll get the battle. And woo, point of no return. We can't think about it anymore. We can't sit on the fence anymore. We're going for it. And that usually is around page 80. Yeah. So, okay, we'll see you later. Yay, we'll see you tomorrow. But it is like darkest before the dawn, right? So that's what we just were in, like, oh, the darkest before the dawn. And then it's like, that slow motion of we're going to push through this, whether it's in your life and your business idea failed miserably, which there's no such thing as failure. It just that way didn't work. And now you know not to do it that way and you better do it this way. Really, really the key is just you try again in a different way. Like you learn from that thing and then you try it a new way. And that's really the difference between people that make their stuff happen and people that don't, is they just don't give up. That really is the only difference. You're throwing everything at my hero. She is down dangling on a wooden plank bridge, fingernails scratching. Totally, right? So we're doing the point of no return in your story. Woo, woo, and that's like, ah! And then boom, whatever happens, happens. Whoever wins, whatever it's going to be. So in your life, when you get through and you have this moment of like you just worked really hard and you have this moment of it either worked and you're like, you're on to the next and we're going to keep building, or maybe it didn't work and you're like, okay. So there's this moment of healing, right? There's this moment of sort of like acceptance and rebuilding, and this moment of just, okay, what are we going to do now? So it's like either, oh, this is so awesome, it worked out. I got together and I chased my lover to the airport and now we love each other and now everything's going to be okay. Or, it's bittersweet, or there's some kind of sort of the resolution, the acceptance, the like, okay, it is what it is. So in your life, sometimes that might necessarily be a good thing. Sometimes it is an amazing thing. But whether you have success or not, always take that break for a moment. So have that break when you're successful at something. It's really tempting to just dive right in again, but really take that moment to celebrate yourself. Take that moment to go, I did it. When you finish your screenplay, put it aside for a while, go do something silly, like have those moments of healing, re-energizing, go for a massage, do whatever it's going to be. Like I actually schedule. So when we have we call it launching, when we have our masterclass open and there's a lot of activity, we're doing a lot of things behind the scenes during that time. So when we get to the point to where, okay, it's closed, nobody can enroll again, I schedule a massage like right then, so that I make sure that I get that kind of, okay. And then I can kind of re-energize and dive in for our new students, right? I want to have just as much energy for all of our new students as we did while we were trying to explain everything. So it is that moment. You need to take that moment, really important. Same with your resolution in a story. Like we need that moment. We need that really sweet moment when we see like, that that thing has happened, and whether it's a silly kind of thing, or I don't know if silly is the right word, but in Star Wars where they get the medals, that's act 3. Like, it's not much. We have Dorothy going, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there. We need that little wrap up that kind of goes, it's going to be okay. Or if it's not that kind of wrap up, if it's really kind of a tragic story, but there's still a wrap up, right? And there's still, I think, because inherently we are creatures of hope. If we weren't creatures of hope, there'd be no such thing as credit. Credit to me is such a reflection of our just innate sense that things will be better tomorrow and I'll be able to pay for it then. I love that about credit, even though we get ourselves in trouble with it. I love that. So it is like we have this inherent hope. That's, I think, who we are as a species, that we think that it's going to get better because it can't be worse. Even when it gets worse, it's going to get better. Like, in general, I think, and even when people are at their wits' end, and even people like that are really, really depressed, there's like a weird sort of, it's hard to describe, that sort of hope within the depression in a weird way, that this is the path then that will bring me the most evenness, or whatever it might be. But in a story, we need that. Stories, we are trying to uplift people, even stories that are tragic. I think, I don't think I've ever, trying to think. I mean, I've read stories that don't do that, for sure. But I mean, stories that go through and movies that get made, there's just that inherent need to wrap things up. That's kind of how we are. And we also, I think we live our lives sort of in revolving 3 acts, revolving beginning, middle, end. There's just that kind of the circle of life idea. And so then, yeah, die to be reborn. Nothing is permanent. You guys are so smart. Exactly. It's like this kind of blow the castle away. And so then we get to the idea again, right? And it starts us right back. So I think whether it's you've written a screenplay and you've gone up these steps and now you're going to write the next screenplay. And I think the more you can do that and the more screenplays you write, the more you do this cycle, the easier it will be and the more interesting it will be for you and the more you can explore and be brave. And I think the more you can be brave in your storytelling, the more you'll be able to be brave in your life. So dive in there. And I thought this would be a fun tool for you to be able to use just to remind yourself of your life and in your stories to be brave and be thorough and heal and take all of these steps and just rinse and repeat, and enjoy the journey along the way. You are the hero in your story. No one's the hero but you, and you can make whatever story you want, whatever hero story you want, whether it's a journey in a screenplay or a journey in your life. Enjoy every step. Oh, that's so awesome. The snake that eats its own tail, to remind you that what goes around comes around, right? So good, you guys. The gooey butterfly. Did you know this? And then we have Emily, our scientist, who posted a scientific thing about that. Not only do caterpillars turn into butterflies, which I already think is the coolest metaphor ever, but while they're in the cocoon, they ingest themselves. Okay, talk about like your own stuff like coming out. They ingest themselves and all the enzymes, and they turn into like this goo, and then they turn into butterflies. So good. So good. Nature is so awesome. So be your own goo. Be your own butterfly. My son is a tattoo artist, and my best friend and I are going to Montreal to visit him. And I was like, maybe we need to get a tattoo of the goo. We're trying to visualize what that might be. So there you have it, you guys. It's so fun to hop in here and do this with you. And so be your hero in your own story, write stories of heroes and share them. And then as readers, be that hero that helps that writer through this process. Be that person that they can rely on to be their champion. All right. We'll see you next week. Thanks, you guys. You guys are so awesome. Bye, Felipe. See you later.